The Chopin Etudes. Some of the most influential sets of music ever written in the history of classical music. These works paved the way for the etudes of Liszt, Rachmaninoff, Scriabin, Debussy, and even Ligeti. Before Chopin's time, there were many composers who had all written countless of technical studies, like Czerny, Hanon, and Clementi, for example. Chopin had arrived in Paris from Poland in 1831. He quickly became a famous salon pianist and started teaching. At 23 years old, Chopin published his first set of etudes in 1833 and dedicated it to his friend, Franz Liszt. It is said that Liszt side-read the etudes perfectly. With the etudes, Chopin infused technical exercises with so much engaging musical material that pianists no longer kept the studies to the practice room. The concert etude was now born. The Waterfall Etude, with a bright, broad, arpeggiated theme that usually spans about 3 or 4 octaves in a single measure. Vladimir Horowitz himself labeled it Chopin's most tricky. He never performed it in public. It's extremely difficult to continuously stretch your hand open and closed while keeping a firm hand position. Quick, accurate, and legato right hand chromatic lines. And this on the weak 3rd, 4th, and 5th fingers, while the right hand is accompanying itself. And all of this is to be played across 4 pages, requiring an immense stamina. The Tristesse Etude. I personally believe Nostalgia would be a more fitting name. Here's Lang Lang's recording, since many people really believe this is one of Lang Lang's finest. I don't really hear it, but let's not get into the interpretation too much. I already made a video on the topic. It's a study in polyphony. Keeping a clear legato voicing and expressive orchestration is a challenge, similar to the music of J.S. Bach. Chopin proclaimed about this etude that in all of his life, he never again was able to find such a beautiful melody. In the middle of the piece, the difficulty shifts to fast playing of chromatic fourths. To create a torrent effect, the pedal must be used precisely, not too much to make it sound like a muddy river, but too little and the notes feel detached. A study in the balance of tone passing from one hand to another, keeping an even finger touch while constantly moving from legato to a sharp attack. The rabbit triplets in the right hand might seem doable, if they weren't entirely played on black keys. Some editions suggest that there should be one white key note in the right hand, an F, almost in the end of the piece. Keeping a crispy sound while actually playing legato is a difficulty here. And for my Lang Lang fans,
today I will play a special version with orange.
the least technically challenging of all the etudes. There are, however, some unusual positions the left hand must occasionally assume. Keeping the tone color aligned to the regretful and disappointing mood without drowning in pedal is quite an underrated challenge. This across 2 melodic lines is another polyphonic difficulty. The right hand is in perpetual motion, characterized by rapidly changing intervals ranging from a minor third to an augmented sixth. Often in the intervals, repeating notes overlap, creating an extra difficulty. It's impossible to play if your wrist is blocked. A completely free wrist is necessary. This brilliant bright etude, while the middle section sounds more cloudy, with a chance of storm, is unexpectedly difficult. To keep a light and even regularity of the finger attack during arpeggiated figures, especially with the passing under of the thumb, is quite hard. Immediately noticeable are the huge left-hand jumps, reaching to tenths. On a closer look, the real struggle lays within studying the architecture of the piece and interpreting, slowly building up the lyrical and mysterious melody, and creating a haunting echo. This study consists of a repeating pattern of an eighth note followed by an interval, often a sixth. The accents create a special difficulty. While the structure of the piece is very similar throughout, the rhythm and the phrasing change often. The pianist must use the same structure to create an extremely wide range of tone colors and sounds. Once again, a free wrist is indispensable. Nearly every note is a rolled chord. This study is very difficult to voice. Even though the melody is usually the top note of each chord, it's sometimes in the middle. Every note except the melody should be extremely light to maintain the sweet character of the piece. Chopin wrote a revolutionary etude after the failed November uprising of 1831, when Russian forces crushed the Polish mutineers who challenged the empire's reign. Perhaps Chopin intended a gunshot when he started the piece. The difficulty lies evidently within the left hand, but unlike Chopin's other studies, he doesn't restrain himself to one technique. This person might have taken the gunshots a little too literally. Thanks for watching. Any support is greatly appreciated. The paintings used in the video are in the description for the art lovers out there. And for those who want something extra, I've started to give piano lessons. The link's in the description. There are only 10 spots available, so I hope you don't miss out. See you soon!